Imagine this, the first light of dawn breaking over the horizon, casting a golden hue on the still waters of our family's cherished 4-acre reservoir, the air crisp with the scent of fresh earth and pine. And then, out of nowhere, the piercing wail of sirens shatters the peace. 3 squad cars barreling down the gravel path like they're chasing a fugitive, tires kicking up dust and stones. Engines roaring with unnecessary aggression, all converging on my brother Lucas, who's just sitting there in his wheelchair, fishing line dipped in the water, his face a mix of confusion and quiet resignation. A man who gave his legs for this country in Iraq, now treated like some dangerous intruder on his own land. That moment, right there, when I rushed out and saw those lights flashing on his scarred frame, I knew the Maplewood Community Association had crossed a line that would bury them in regret, a mistake so colossal it would drain their pockets of millions and send their leader straight to a federal cell, all because one power-drunk woman couldn't stand the sight of simple joy in her so-called perfect world. What would you do, seeing your own blood humiliated like that? Reduced to a suspect for the crime of healing his wounds? Tell me in the comments, and where you're tuning in from. I reckon many of you have your own tales of neighborhood tyrants gone mad. Let me pull back the curtain on how we landed in this nightmare. I'm Ethan Harper, and it all ignited when a self-appointed queen decided our slice of heaven needed her iron fist to elevate it. No matter the human cost, Lucas and I inherited this stunning 15-acre waterfront haven from our grandpa, who back in the 60s carved out that reservoir with sheer grit and a bulldozer, spring-fed. Teeming with perch and salmon, his lifelong masterpiece that became our family's anchor. After Lucas returned from the war, shattered and legless, that water turned into his lifeline. The soft whir of his electric chair gliding onto the pier, the faint splash of his bait hitting the surface, chasing away the ghosts of explosions and loss. Not just a pastime, but a silent battle against the darkness inside, a therapy deeper than any doctor's prescription. Then enters Elizabeth Thornton. Envision her as this impeccably groomed figure, slacks creased to perfection, tablet clutched like a scepter of doom, who swept into town a decade ago, seized the association president role, and vowed to polish our quiet corner into her vision of upscale bliss. Whether we signed up for it or not, our first clash hit like a scripted drama, her heels clicking across our boundary line, trailing a harried land expert, her floral scent overwhelming the natural breeze before she even spoke. "Mr. Harper," she drawled with that saccharine tone that hides venom, "there's a confusion regarding your water feature." And there I stood, grease-stained from my auto repair shop, staring at this suited-up intruder, claiming our reservoir somehow spilled into their shared space, demanding we halt all unauthorized leisure pursuits at once. I dug out Grandpa's faded 1963 deed, every inch mapped out as ours. The man had shaped it before their mansions dotted the landscape, but Elizabeth dismissed it with a wave, muttering about possible fakes and needing her legal eagle to authenticate, her eyes gleaming with that unshakable delusion. And in that instant, I sensed we were up against not just entitlement, but a breed of madness that feeds on control. Bullies like her don't quit at one punch, they escalate. And soon her crusade unfolded, patrols circling our land timed perfectly to disrupt Lucas's sessions, complaints about the hum of his mobility. Aid disturbing this serenity, newsletters dripping with veiled jabs at our eyesore angling gear, and improper shoreline conduct, wearing down Lucas until he'd stare blankly at his rods. Retreating inward, the war hero fading under suburban siege. What burned deepest was how she twisted the neighborhood against us, cornering folks at gatherings, spreading whispers of my uncooperative attitude and refusal to blend in. Good people mostly, but poisoned by her one-sided narrative, her methods calculated, relentless, a barrage of grievances and ultimatums turning everyday life into a battlefield of red tape. Yet, in her arrogance, Elizabeth overlooked one fatal flaw, viewing Lucas as fragile prey in his chair, me as a blue-collar pushover, never dreaming this. Serene vet by the water held the unraveling thread to the largest scam our Pine Grove County had witnessed, her harassment not random cruelty, but a veil for something far darker, and as tensions simmered, Her next salvo arrived masked as public service, because what screams goodwill like sicking officials on a wounded warrior. I'm elbow deep in an engine rebuild when a county van rumbles up. Out steps Bill Harlan, inspector looking apologetic as hell, clipboard in hand, face twisted like he's delivering bad news to a friend. Mr. Harper, reports say you're operating an illegal sport. Fishing venture, he says, and I nearly choke on my soda. Commercial ops on a 4-acre spot? Might as well accuse me of deep-sea whaling in a kiddie pool, but the gears of officialdom grind on facts be. Damned, some worried resident. We knew who, alleging fees for access and black market sales of our catch like underground dealings in trout. Grandpa's wisdom clashed with her elite scheming, and his side prevailed. I guided Bill inside, unveiling decades of logs from an old chest, pages yellowed, entries precise on every haul, date, size, his handwriting a testament to integrity. Damn, Bill whistled, scanning the volumes. This outdoes most pros, and quietly confided similar baseless probes on other homes, all traced to the same instigator, dismissed but draining. That sparked a flood of calls. Agnes Whitaker, 75, targeted for her herb patch luring pests, her voice fierce. That lady pulled the same stunt on me, calling my greens a blight on the vibe. Then Miguel Santos, dinged for his camper van as a transient lodging hub, furious at claims he rented to drifters when it was family getaways. The O'Neill clan's tail hit harder. Their few backyard hens for fresh eggs labeled a filthy enterprise threatening health, especially for their aging kin. As confessions poured in, the stench of deceit grew overpowering, like exhaust from those official rides. But Lucas pieced it together, wheeling to our strategy table strewn with complaints, his battle-honed mind mapping patterns. She's not merely controlling. Look at the lots, and damn if he wasn't spot on. Each victim on premium turf, views of the water, expansive yards ripe for flips, owners from walks she deemed unfit, seniors, vets, newcomers, easy. Marks for her upscale purge. It's calculated displacement, Lucas analyzed. Push out the misfits, usher in buyers who pay premiums, pocket fees from sales, all under the guise of enhancement. A twisted upgrade scheme, and just then, her latest missile landed, a fancy envelope reeking of high-end lawyering, accusing us of breaching norms, stonewalling directives, and sowing discord. Vowing to drag in higher powers unless we bowed, essentially, vanish your poverty and pain from our sightlines. She's overextended, Lucas murmured as dusk gilded the waves, attacking without recon. On her foes, meaning she'd waged war on resilient souls who'd outlasted worse than her petty games, and by morning, Elizabeth Thornton would grasp that tangling with warriors isn't just wrong. It's a tactical blunder, for we don't merely resist, we strategize, unite, and obliterate threats with precision. Elizabeth's escalation veered into eco-sabotage territory, framing a war vet for tainting the wells, because framing innocence beats admitting your own filth, right? Sipping brew, watching Lucas finesse his lure, my device buzzes with alerts, Miguel texting about hazmat crews. Swarming, Agnes warning of official rigs, and here marches Dr. Lisa Monroe, health enforcer geared like a biohazard raid, unloading kits fit for dissecting alien samples, the rubbery tang of gear, clashing with the fresh dawn. Mr. Harper, grave claims of pollution from your angling habits, she states, and I counter, from whom? The allies or the stalker? Her file details accusations of toxic overflow endangering aquifers, as if our bait and scraps brewed plague, while Elizabeth's SUV prowls by, not even masking her glee, circling like a vulture sensing weakness. Channeling Grandpa's mantra, prove them wrong till they gag on it. I shelled out for AquaGuard Analytics, top-tier testers for elite spots. Pricey, but Lucas insisted on flawless execution, no shortcuts leaving doubt. Their findings? A comedy goldmine. Our water's purer than tap, ideal chemistry, microbes negligible, oxygen levels envied by farms, actually cleansing the surrounds. But the twist exploded her plot. Dr. Monroe's tests exposed our haven as a boon, while the association's drainage basin festered with poisons, fertilizer floods, chemical overloads, chlorine strong enough to strip paint from afar. Elizabeth finger-pointing at us while her domain brewed toxins for the region. Irony, so thick it could sink ships. Mr. Harper, Dr. Monroe phoned with remorse. Your site's a natural purifier, enhancing downstream flow, triggering probes into their maintenance, her frame-up backfiring spectacularly. Yet Lucas dug deeper, scouring archives, unearthing Elizabeth's checkered past. Licenses yanked in Montana 2017 for bullying seniors, Nevada 2019 for sham reports forcing turnovers, a nomadic predator devouring towns, then fleeing ruins, dressed in luxury but rotten core. The exposure snapped the spell, online forums lit with shared ordeals, tactics dissected, the isolator now isolated, Agnes with treats and apologies. We should have rallied sooner, her threats loomed. Large, Miguel hosting shore feasts where tales flowed freer than the springs, Lucas's chuckles returning, waves carrying hope. Elizabeth doubled down in panic, urgent summons to combat, slanderous plots. But cracks showed, outfits rumpled, grins twisted, vehicle etching ruts in surveillance laps. Trapped beasts lash wildly. Lucas noted, prophetic as her climax loomed, a blunder so blatant. It screamed breakdown or hubris. Twilight peace shattered by cruisers storming in, encircling Lucas midcast, me dashing out half-dressed to bewildered badges eyeing a vet in repose. Sir, alerts of intrusion and threats. Officer Santos explains, no kin to our ally. You're Lucas Harper? Calm as ever, he affirms. On my turf, so what's the issue? Officer Ellis shifts uneasily, reviewing our maps, confirming no trespass, yet duty demands logs, and I pivot, filing against false alerts, cams rolling as I recount the saga, from health hoaxes to vet vilification. Fury building in their ranks at being pawns. That shift unearthed the core, Agnes arriving with dossiers thick as novels, her tremor defiant. I've tracked this for years, she underestimated us. Elders, revelations poured. Michael Thornton, spouse, ghost hired via Riverdale Management Group for $60,000 yearly in unvoted guidance. Charter barring self-deals, ledgers tracing funnels to their coffers, grounds care, safety ops, legal ties, all shells bleeding funds. Photos debunked fixes on phantom pools, courts, halls that were her shed, fraud netting millions from insurers on fakes. This ain't theft, it's syndicate, Lucas mapped, tallying $200,000 annual for a decade, $2 million embezzled, plus claims ballooning the haul. Hands quaking, I sifted proof of an empire cloaked in civics, her chases masking witness wipes, every ousted soul a silent spotter of ghosts. We looped our counsel, federal flags waving, wires crossed, mails twisted, policies duped, plots hatched, RICO, looming with triple hits and seizures. An unsigned midnight missive sealed it, probed the payouts, years of lifts, scent of smoke and fear, propelling our hunt through files, unveiling $8 million in sham claims over 6 years, storms on illusions, vandals on voids, fires on her barn past as communal hubs. Michael's firm build illusions, snaps altered, her yard restored as public paths, pool as fountain revival, forensics poised to expose edits, federal weights crushing. Greed slopped her trails. Agnes's event shots bearing barren sites claimed rebuilt. Her home in vandal eras, total swindle $4.1 million with triples nearing $12 million. Trash dives yielded unshredded gems, deposits direct, mails plotting hits, texts silencing Agnes with fees, her ego archiving her downfall, patterns crystallized, harassment as culling keen eyes, compliant herds milked blind, that Eve arming us to crush her realm. Grandpa's shed morphed to command center. Oil and wood mingling with brew as we plotted with our ragtag squad. Me grimy, Lucas uniformed, Agnes gripping files, Attorney Ryan Caldwell channeling legends. RICO federal feast, he outlined. Violations stacking, Lucas charting flows like ops. Beauty in triples on $4.1 million, equaling over $12 million plus costs. Freezes. Contingency suit, no upfront bleed, lesson from David Goliath. Bouts. Agnes's clerk past shown, logs meticulous, while Lucas's net secured watches, Miguel's contacts guarding, discreet shields for voices. Journalist pal drooled. Vet tormented by crookboard. Head. Timing synced with feds to shield probes. Media shield deterred hits. Drew more tails. Forensics traced pennies. Recoveries from drives. Insurers docs on fakes. FBI assigning fraud pros fast. On our airtight pack. Healing wove in. Divided folks reuniting. Admissions like Mrs. Langley's. She painted you rogue. Blocked chats. New board pros auditing transparent. Vet groups bolstered. Lucas, story echoing nationwide on bias battles. Prep mirrored boot camp. Docs armored. Contingencies for strikes. Injunctions ready. Prosecutors primed. Agnes roared. Terror over. Now she pays. Traps sprung with tactical grace. Her every flail stacking counts. Unaware her peak folly brewed. Elizabeth's unraveling peaked with sleuth hires and midnight shreds. Innocence screaming through. Frantic erasures. Miguel flagged a lurking sedan snapping our comings. Tinted veil hiding lenses. Lucas's crew flipping the script, plating the snoop. Vanguard detectives, sleaze specialists in. Claims and splits, tasked with dirt digs on our allies. Her logic twisted. Steal fortunes, then harass harder. But tailing a vet's intel ring? Amateur hour. Dossiers flipped back. Derek Voss, 47. Rap sheet of taps and bans. Her budget pick. Lucas quipped. Then nocturnal alerts at the office. Beams dancing. Shredders humming. Cams nabbing Elizabeth's ride. Michael hauling crates. Duo feeding proofs to blades like burying sins. Tamper felony. Ryan grinned. 5-year bump. Bribery followed. Agnes hit with $30,000 gesture for rethinking finances. Taped whisper of fading. Recall blessings. Her buy-off botch on record. Felony witness sway amid probes. Weekend rally backfired. Defenses against baseless suits. Threats of levies. But queries on ghost perks erupted. Where's our maintained rank? Miguel pressed, her poise shattering to snarls. Outside agitators blamed. Michael flipped the script, plea seeking via contacts, spilling on her for leniency. Backups flooding. Ledgers, claims, mails on handling nuisances, marital ships sinking with empire, rows echoing, vans loading, calls frantic. Snooper vanished under fed eyes, shreds filmed. Bribe taped, co-plotter wired. Blunders catalogued. Lucas mused as she paced roads, obstruction to flips. Her crowning idiocy? Planting props at 3 a.m., sensors blazing, cams catching her stuffing. Cans and bars in my rig, her aroma betraying. Dawn call summons me on vandalism. Her tale of me trashing offices at 2, found tools in search, but feds foreknew, monitoring her wires. Agent Santos, no tie to our pal, staging the play, letting her weave perjuries on cam, lies stacking charges. Our feeds time-stamped her plant, calls to Michael confirming, wires capturing frames, and shreds. Lot arrest cinematic, cuffs clicking amid flashes, litany of counts. Plots, swindles, washes, blocks, tampers, falsies, evidences, lies, news blasting her walk, for $0.1 million haul exposed. Her meticulous crimes her own snare. Neighborhood backlash swift, board ousted, pact severed, full fed aid. Agnes triumphed, reclaiming our haven. Media storm national, hashtag VetJustice trending. Her shot meme of fallen grace. Hearing sealed 12 years. For $0.1 million repay, assets liquidated. SUV to vets, home to Santos kin, bags auctioned for repairs. Fest erupted patriotic, flags waving. Lucas idolized, interviews flowing. Feds hit hard on neighbor thefts and vet abuse. Hall reckoning epic, packed seats creaking, bruise and tension thick. Elizabeth orange-clad, wilted, shackled. Apology mandated in plea crumble. Lucas wheeled forth mettled, flag shining. I'm Lucas Harper. She aimed to break me for daring peace post-service, silence profound. That water mended what war broke. She stole it for her elite dream. Ovation thundered. Prosecutor Sophia Grant slid stats for $0.1 million schemes, crowd gasping at fakes and targets, elders, vets, families. Her mumble sparked. Lucas's boom, not standards, but cover for theft and terror, facing her. Saw weakness in wheels, fear in age, submission in us. You aired holy. Eruption cathartic, marshals leading her past. Jeers, justice served vivid. Months on, Paradise Reborn, Agnes's Pies at Grills, Kids in Waves, Board Transparent, Funds birthing Lucas Harper Vet Aid Fund, First Grant to O'Neill's Girl, Irony. Sweet. Reservoir Hub for Lessons, Agnes's Plot Blooming, Reforms Rippling, Laws Passed, Shows Awarded, Lucas Counseling from Pier Shed, Prison for Her at $1.20 hourly folds, Home to Heroes. Annual Fates Honor, Pavilion Memorializing Resilience, Neighbors Bonding, Lake Preserved, Scientists Praising, Toxic Spot Butterflied. Dawn Views of Lucas Casting, Light Dancing, Birds Chorusing. Peace Profound, Lesson Etched, Silence Feeds Tyrants, Doc's Arm, Unity Wins, Kindness Fierce. Bullies misjudge, but justice endures, a closure in reclaimed serenity, the ultimate triumph, not vengeance, but unbreakable bonds and healed hearts. Now, ponder this. Was her downfall pure justice, or does it blur lines between righting wrongs and personal vendetta? Where do we draw ethical bounds in? Fighting corruption, especially when family suffers. Is true accountability always this cinematic, or do most battles fade unseen? Share your thoughts. Right, wrong, gray areas, and if you faced similar, how did you push back?